It's a very warm welcome back to a second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Celtic Park, where Celtic lead against Real Betis by a goal to nil. It was Stephen Welsh with a header from a corner, a Liel Abada corner on 3 minutes that gave Celtic the lead. And then the longer the first half progressed, you just got the feeling that Betis were getting into the game again. But Celtic starting well in the second half with the ball down the right-hand side from Midahide into the penalty area. Furuhashi trying to get that in at the near post, but can only find the side netting. But Celtic looking to start the second half in the same vein as they did the first, by putting pressure here on the visitors. Midahide with a good run down the right-hand side, is ball in towards the near post, but only the side netting there from Furuhashi. Now, as the visitors look to try and get the game back underway, Celtic immediately trying to press at the edge of the Betis penalty area. Eventually the ball goes out of play down the right-hand side. Just remind you of the two teams very quickly. For Celtic it is Scott Bain in goal, with a back four of Midahide, near Bitton, Stephen Welsh and Liam Scales. The two holder midfielders, James McCarthy and Ismaili Asoro. The three ahead of them are Liel Abada, Liam Shaw and Adam Montgomery, with Kyogo Furuhashi up front. He came on at just before the half-time for the injured Ajeti. It was actually 29 minutes when Ajeti had to go off with an injury. As far as Betis, no changes so far for the visitors. It is Rui Silva in goal, with a back four of Aitor, Rui Bal, German Pezzella, Edgar Gonzalez and Juan Miranda. The two holder midfielders are Paul Szczerbakowicz and William Carvalho. The three ahead of them, Diego Lainez, Joaquin and Tello, with Borja Iglesias as the front man. But oh, what a chance that was for Celtic. Betis gave the ball away at their own box, and just as Abada was waiting to shape across into the box, he lost his footing and lost the ball. So now a reprieve there for the visitors. They can now try and play out from the back. Joaquin makes a real mess of that one, plays that one straight into Montgomery, and then an early cross from McCarthy just about gets through towards Montgomery, breaks into the box. Good challenge there from Pezzella. Liam Scales now playing it back towards, looking to try and play that ball into the penalty, but forced to go back towards McCarthy. Stephen Welsh now joining the play in midfield. Celtic looking to try and keep the ball early on in this second half. Scales looked like he'd lost it to Joaquin, gets it back, plays the ball through towards Montgomery, who was chasing that one down the left-hand side. But the ball now played back towards the goalkeeper. Clearance from Rui Silva, doesn't get too much distance on it. Celtic straight back at the edge of the area here with Shaw. Back to McCarthy, left-footed ball, trying to switch play over towards the right-hand side. Abada will chase that, but he's got no chance of keeping that in. That's going to be out for a Betis goal kick. And chance now for the visitors just to try and get a bit of control in this second half, because just as in the first, Celtic just trying to upset the rhythm of Betis by pressing and trying to win that ball as high up the field as they can, and they've done it again. Betis playing out from the back with a goal kick. They don't even get anywhere near the halfway line before Celtic win it back. And here is Montgomery now down the left-hand side. He runs straight into Rui Bal. And it's Lainez who plays it up towards the halfway line. Iglesias now plays it back towards Joaquin. And Joaquin over towards the left-hand side. A chance now for Tello to get into the game. Tello gets down the left-hand side, puts a cross into the box. It almost gets through towards Carvalho before it's cleared. And now a chance for Abada to go through the gears for Celtic. Clips the ball over the top now for Furuhashi. Tries to break into the penalty area. He's brought down, and that's going to be a free kick. The referee also got a yellow card here for German Pezzella. Polish referee Daniel Stefański under no illusions there. He felt as though that was a deliberate push there on Furuhashi. Looking at that replay, I think it's difficult to argue with, really. It doesn't look like Pezzella made any attempt to try and play the ball. Just effectively knocked down Kyogo Furuhashi. Free kick to Celtic now. Good position as well, just trying to see whether they're going to try and go straight for goal, or whether it's going to be a ball laid off. I mean, Abada's certainly looking like he's going to be trying to go for goal here. It's one of those where it's probably a little bit too close to the box to try and get a cross in. It's just slightly over on the left-hand side, so it definitely suits the right-footed curling effort. Goalkeeper Rui Silva just trying to organise his five-man wall. He's also got a couple of players stood to the side back. They've just lost the player in the wall. Cuckoo just stepping away to try and perhaps narrow the angle for a ball aimed at the far post. But it is going to be always going to be an effort from Abada, which goes over the bar, and it never really looked like it was threatening the goal. A bit too much height on that one from Liel Abada. It's Rui Silva now. Rui starting play. The ball out down the left-hand side, not controlled though by Lainez. And then Liam Scales just slides in, and it looks like he might have got something in his eye just as he was trying to win that ball. Celtic number 5 just needing a moment there to pick himself up. It looks like he's okay now though. And the ball played forward there for Iglesias. Lainez then plays that ball into space, and there's plenty of space here for Aitor Ruibal. He gets to the edge of the area, cross blocked off by Celtic captain Liel Abada, and it's out for a corner kick to Betis down the right-hand side. But that's a good response from the visitors. Spent the first 5 minutes of this second half pegged back inside their own, pretty much at the edge of their own box. But now they have a corner kick, and it's from the right-hand side, so it will be an outswinger from Joaquin. In fact, no, it's just a short ball played to the edge of the area to Lainez, back to Joaquin. He then fires a ball into the box. It's a good cross, good header away by Welsh. The second ball drops to Akuku. He strikes it towards goal. I think he might have actually hit his own teammate there, Iglesias, at the edge of the 6-yard box. Ball then played up towards the halfway line. They're fighting for it in midfield. It's headed down the right-hand side for Lainez, who was fouled there by Adam Montgomery. Free kick given there for the foul on Diego Lainez. Plays it back towards Aitor Ruibal. And Joaquin just swapping a couple of passes, but unable to get further forward at this stage, forced to go back towards their own half. Still a very, very quiet evening in the 8 o'clock kickoffs in the Europa League. Just a few goals scored up from the Celtic lead here. Rapid Vienna leading away at Genk. Marseille leading at home against Lokomotiv Moscow. West Ham still trailing at home to Dinamo Zagreb. They're the only goals of all the 8 o'clock kickoffs this evening. So far, Braga against Red Star Belgrade, Ferencváros Leverkusen, Lazio against Galatasaray, Ludogorets against Midtjylland. All those games so far are still goalless. As, it looks like Zaze Urahide has given away a free kick. Just let the ball get behind him, and he didn't really want Tello to get away from him. A yellow card here as well for the Celtic. It looks like he's got away with it. Could have been a yellow. I think if that had been further up the field, the referee would have argued that was stopping a counter-attack. It's just a free kick which Betis have taken short. They've lost the ball in the meantime as well. Here is Scales playing the ball to Furuhashi at the edge of the area. Furuhashi and Shaw trying to play a little 1-2 there, but the ball from Shaw just a little bit too far away from Furuhashi. Silva's clearance goes long, but it's straight to Stephen Welsh. Celtic back in possession now down the left-hand side with Montgomery. Back to Liam Scales. Here is Welsh again, the goal scorer. Square now towards Liel Abada. Closed down by Borja Iglesias, and Scott Bain steps out from his box, but Betis have left 4 players up here, and in the end it's forced Stephen Welsh just to clear that ball anywhere really. It goes out for a throw, and it's right by the Betis penalty area. Ruibal takes his back towards Rui Silva, and he was being closed down by Furuhashi. Bit of a miscontrol there from the goalkeeper. But he just about gets the ball towards the halfway line. And then in the meantime, it's Akuku that's given away a free kick. So it will be a free kick to Celtic now down the left-hand side. Braga have just taken the lead against Red Star Belgrade. Looks like it's Galeno with a penalty there for Braga, giving them a 1-0 lead. But back here at Celtic Park, Celtic took that free kick short, and now they've played themselves into huge trouble here because Tello breaks through. He's at the edge of the area now. Tello one-on-one with Bain. His strike is just a bit of a tame effort. He was losing his balance there, the Betis number 11, and the strike in the end is smothered by Scott Bain. But that really was very reckless from Celtic in midfield. Had that free kick on the left-hand side, took it short, and just a couple of short passes later, it looked as though it was, I'd have to see the replay, I think it was Bitton who was caught in possession. But as that ball was played towards Tello, there was acres of space for him. Just stumbled when he tried to get his shots away, and that meant that the effort on goal wasn't as powerful as it could have been. But there's going to be a potential booking here for Ruibal. Slides in on Liam Shaw, and that's got to be a yellow card. And Shaw was actually looking at the referee there, expecting a yellow card for his opponent, considering the very soft booking that he picked up in the first half. There was a genuine attempt there from Ruibal to try and get on the end of it. It was Liel Abada who was caught in possession, gave that ball away, and there was Tello breaking into the box. You've got to give credit there. I think it was a good tracking there from Stephen Welsh, charging in to at least try and put off Tello, and it did enough in terms of his effort not being as good as it could have been. And in the meantime now Celtic have once again taken a free kick short. although this time there aren't as many Betis players pressing. And that's a good turn down the left-hand side as he kept this in play. Oh, it must have gone out. There's still a ball reaching at the penalty area here as Montgomery gets the ball, tries to strike it towards goal. It's out for a goal kick. But the Betis players are very unhappy here. They felt as though Liam Shaw had easily gone out of play here. We'll have a look on this replay. It's close. It's close, as I say. They haven't quite got to the stage where they've used goal line technology to decide the throw-ons and goal kicks. But if they did, I'm not sure that would have been given. I think it was probably just a little bit. There was still a little bit of the ball left on the field as far as I could see from that one replay. Betis certainly unhappy there. Playing out from the back here now. Joaquin almost caught in possession, but he does get the ball down the right-hand side towards Aitor Ruribal. Oh, it's with Diego Lainez. Back to Ruribal. Pressure inside now towards William Carvalho. Carvalho to turn back towards his own goal. Liam Shaw not letting him get away, and then an attempted clearance from Pizzella actually deflects off the back of Paul Szczerbakowicz, but in the end no harm done as far as Betis are concerned. The ball deflects back into the path of goalkeeper Rui Silva. 56 minutes gone, independent of Tube Studio commentary. It is Celtic 1, Real Betis 0. Stephen Welsh with the goal for Celtic on 3 minutes, heading in a Liel Abada corner. But here come Betis now down the left-hand side. That's a heavy touch though from Tello. Now Celtic can break here down the right-hand side. Nice drop in the shoulder there from Abada. Plays that ball into space for Udahide into the 6-yard box, and it's not too far away from Hudahashi. It's not too far away from Ruribal scoring an own goal either, but in the end he does get it out for a corner. But the space that Celtic found with real ease, they were able to get to the penalty area. And that clearance from Ruribal. When Postecoglou had his arm up there, thinking that his side had just scored a second. That's a potential own goal from Ruribal, but in the end his clearance does go wide of the goal, and it is a corner kick to Celtic. Abada with the outswinger from the right-hand side. It drops to Biton, his strike towards goal, hits it first time. It would have been an Israeli crossing and an Israeli scoring there for Celtic, but not to be. Biton strike just a bit too close to the goalkeeper. He's got to get back now into his own half, because here come Betis now on the counter. Ooh, the ball from Lainez I thought was a good one towards Iglesias, but he couldn't quite control it inside his own box, inside the Celtic box I should say. And Biton in the end coming across to put the ball out for a throw. See Celtic players warming up there on the touchline. Just saw Turnbull and McGregor. And a nice round of applause as well as they were going through some stretches on the touchline. We should see some changes from Celtic at some point in this second half, particularly considering where the situation in terms of the group and the game. Just saw Albin Ajeti making his way back to the bench. Was to go off with an injury in the first half. I'm sure Postecoglou and all the Celtic fans will be hoping that it's nothing too serious. But here come Betis now down the right-hand side with Lainez. Stopped at the edge of the area, runs straight into McCarthy. McCarthy with the clearance up towards the halfway line. Stopped here by William Carvalho. Towards Cuckoo. Cuckoo's ball into the box. It's just a bit too high for Iglesias. And Bain can chase that one down to the edge of his own area. Well, he actually wanders out of his own box and then plays what can only be described as a bit of a hospital pass here to Ozaze Udahide, but he just about clears that ball down the right-hand side. He won't thank his goalkeeper for that. It's Betis now back in possession here with Edgar Gonzalez dropping a bit deeper. Goes square to German Pizzella. Celtic with plenty of players inside the Betis half. Both sides have been guilty of giving the ball away a little bit cheaply at times this evening. So it makes sense for either team to really press high up the field when their opponents are trying to play out from the back. But here come Betis now. There's acres of space here in the middle for Tello. He plays it to Lainez, who shapes to shoot with the left foot. It's a shot on target, but it's straight down the middle. It curled straight into the goalkeeper there. So no problem at all for Scott Bain to make what was fairly a routine save for him in the end. But it's certainly warning signs for Celtic that at times they are just leaving that midfield a little bit too exposed. And certainly Lainez and Tello with their pace and Joaquin with his trickery could certainly put Celtic in some trouble. It's Borja Iglesias, I think, the target man, but hasn't been a particularly good target man this evening. A couple of times he's not been able to control balls that have been played to him. I do wonder if perhaps Pellegrini is also considering a change. Celtic were forced into a change on 29 minutes with that injury to Albin Ajeti, replaced by Kyogo Furuhashi. But no tactical changes from either Postecoglou or Pellegrini at this stage. So we've just ticked past the hour mark in this game. Celtic still leading by a goal to nil. In the other game in this group, it is still goalless between Ferencváros and Bayer Leverkusen. But in that game, they've had one shot on target between them. So it's one of those, unfortunately, for anyone watching that game, where it looks as though Leverkusen, I should just say, by the way, that Leverkusen did take the lead a couple of minutes ago in that game, but after a VAR review, it was decided that there was an offside. So it is still goalless in that game. Leverkusen knew at the start of play this evening that they would be first, Betis would be second, and Celtic would be third. Ferencváros starting the evening on 0 points. They'll certainly be hoping that they can hold on to that draw, but Bain gives the ball away at the edge of his own box, and Tello now breaking into the area, plays it in towards Joaquin, who hits it first time over the bar. But Celtic can't keep doing this. A couple of times it's defenders that have been caught at the back. Postecoglou now with his head in his hands. Scott Bain just wanders out at the edge of his own box, at the edge of the DM, plays that ball straight through to Tello, who dances away from, I think it was Shaw at the edge of the box trying to stop him, and McCarthy as well. And Postecoglou has seen enough. He's signalled for 3 of his substitutes now to start getting ready to come on. Confirm in just a moment who it is that's getting ready to come on for Celtic. But no surprise really. They need a little bit of more organisation in midfield here. I think Celtic are just guilty of giving too many half chances to Betis. Rizura Hide now down the right-hand side, plays the ball forward, looking for Abada. Won't reach him, and then Sorrow's a bit disappointed that he's miscontrolled that. James McCarthy is just hobbling here a little bit. We'll have to wait and see whether he's going to be a second enforced change for Celtic this evening. See, that's Callum McGregor is getting ready to come on. That's certainly one of the substitutes being readied here by Postecoglou. Throw to Celtic now down the right-hand side. This is getting worse here for McCarthy. He's gone from just looking a little bit uncomfortable on the pitch to almost wanting to sit down here. It's clear that he's got it might be a knee or a thigh problem there. In any case, for the time being, he's staying on his feet. Celtic will be looking to make these changes very shortly. And the referee has actually said that the changes can take place now. So we're going to see, first of all, a substitution for Betis. It's going to be Diego Lainez to go off. And it's Sergio Canales to come on in his place. So certainly not a weakening of the attacking midfield here for Betis. If anything, Canales would argue that perhaps he should be in the starting 11 anyway. So he's going to go onto that right-hand side now. Celtic still not quite ready with their triple change, or certainly a double change that seemed to be on the cards. Borja Iglesias now for Betis down the left-hand side. Ball gets through towards substitute Canales, plays it back to Iglesias. He gets to the edge of the area. He then leaves the ball for Tello, who tries to backheel it to Iglesias. It would have been silky play if it had worked, but in the end the backheel is stopped at the edge of the area. But Celtic don't enjoy possession for too long. It's Betis back in possession here with Pizzella over towards the right-hand side. Rui Bal trying to play the ball in for Joaquin, but it is out for a throw. Diego Lainez, well, he's very unhappy there. Kicks out at the door to that sort of entrance way to the tunnel and makes his way straight back to the dressing room. So whether or not this is an injury and he's frustrated with it, whether or not it's just a bit of petulance from the Betis man that he's been substituted. In any case, he's off the field, and Celtic are now getting ready to make a triple change here. It's going to be Johnston, Turnbull and McGregor coming on here for the home side. Just waiting for a confirmation. It's going to be Ismaila Soro. He's off to be replaced by Turnbull. David Turnbull is on the field now. Waiting to see what the next change is going to be. Looks like it's Adam Montgomery. He's off to be replaced by Callum McGregor. So McGregor is on now. So he picks up the captain's armband as well. Gets that from near Bitton, who started the game as the captain. So just confirmation there. Confirmation that Liam Shaw was the third player to go off. And Shaw is off to be replaced by Michael Johnston. So that's the 3 changes here for Celtic. So to try and shore up the game in these last 25 minutes. Manuel Pellegrini there, the experienced manager. Probably a little bit disappointed that his side haven't taken advantage of the chances they've created and the gifts that Celtic have given them. And another chance there as the ball is played across the Celtic backline. It almost got through towards Tello, but Celtic now can go on the attack themselves down the left-hand side. And here is a substitute. Johnston gets to the edge of the area, tries to keep that ball alive. He's brought down, and the referee Stefanski said that is going to be a free kick to Celtic. Good opportunity this now for Celtic to get players into the box. A little bit too wide to be thinking about a shot here. You can see Johnston gets to the edge of the area, gets brought down by Aitor Ruribal, who is already on a yellow card. Again, that's probably just a little bit, would have been a little bit harsh to give him a second yellow for that, but it's best not to test the referee's patience. Seen this official do not just UEFA games, but Polish league games. He's known sometimes, Mr. Stefanski, to start handing out cards a little bit more freely, so it's best not to try and test that. Turnbull, the substitute, takes the free kick, whips it into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's hooked away, but it's still kept in play here for Celtic down the right-hand side. Attempted cross is cleared away. There for Celtic was that they didn't take off McCarthy, who seemed to be the one playing with the most discomfort. He's still not running freely there as Betis now bring the ball out through midfield. This is a good run, although it stopped just on the halfway line. Carvalho was clipped, and the free kick will go Betis' way, although it's Furuhashi that's got the problem now. He was the one that committed the foul. He's down on the ground now, just needs a moment to pick himself up here. Betis aren't waiting, they've restarted play with the Celtic man still down on the ground. And then an early ball played down the right-hand side for substitute Sergio Canales. Just forced to backtrack a little bit, inside now to Carvalho. Square to a Cuckoo, quick outside of the boot pass down the left-hand side now towards Juan Miranda. Back to Paul Cuckoo, switching play now towards the right-hand side. Great take down there by Joaquin, who then skips past one Celtic man, plays it to the edge of the area, strike, and it's in the back of the net. And it's Tello with the strike that gives the ball. In fact, is it Iglesias that gets the final strike on that one? Two Betis players move towards it. I think it's going to be Borja Iglesias with the goal. But Joaquin can take the big chunk of the credit here. First of all, a superb ball from Paul Cuckoo, taken down by Joaquin, plays it into space, dances away from a Celtic man and then plays it in towards Iglesias. His strike hits the post, hits the back of Scott Bain's head and goes into the back of the net. I do wonder if the dubious goals panel are going to decide that potentially might be an own goal, because I think Bain actually saves this ball. He does. He palms it onto the post, then it hits the post and goes off the back of his head and into the back of the net. So I think although Iglesias had the strike, it potentially could be an own goal. As far as the confirmation now as well, certainly the TV pictures that we're getting have confirmed that it is an own goal. And looking at a couple of score updates as well, does look as though it has been given as an own goal scored by Scott Bain. But here come Betis again. This is where Celtic have to be very careful, because the visitors had long spells of possession in the first half, and they've got the ball again here inside the penalty area. Miranda cuts in onto his weaker left foot. His shot is charged down. Him and Udahide are fighting for the ball. Udahide brings it away and plays it inside. That's going to be a free. Well, goes down there in quite a heap. Does Abada, expecting his side to get a free kick. Meanwhile, Kyogo Furuhashi is still looking to be in big problems there. I don't think he's going to be able to play on. So So it looks as though the substitute is now going to have to be substituted himself. He slid in. Looks like he just strained that right either thigh or right hamstring as he was trying to go for that. And Leeds forward hasn't been able to run this off for the time being. So it looks as though he may have to go off. Celtic have already made 4 changes in this game. So this would now be their 5th if it turns out that Furuhashi has to go off. The body language isn't good, it has to be said. Doesn't look very comfortable there at all. So potentially he may have to go off in just a moment. It is going to be Kogo Furuhashi to go off. Make as much of an impact this evening as he would have hoped. Moving on after 29 minutes now himself being substituted here, and it's going to be Ewan Henderson to replace him. So Henderson now on for Furuhashi. In making that change, Koglu has no substitutions left in this game. Celtic have made all 5 changes now. Now we're back in play here with Celtic in possession. Liam Scales plays it forward to the edge of the area. Oh, it almost got through towards Liel Abada. Last-ditch challenge there from Gonzalez, who then, a combination of him and Miranda, actually managed to lose the ball for Betis anyway. So still half a chance here for Celtic as Abada puts the cross into the 6-yard box. And it's Celtic retaking the lead. How about that then? It's Ewan Henderson. Well, this might be a record-breaking substitute appearance here from Henderson. He has literally been on the field a matter of seconds, and he gets a touch on the ball and gives Celtic the lead on 72 minutes. Well, we'll need to get the stopwatch out here to check just exactly how long he was on the field. But the ball reached Liel Abada. He couldn't quite get the ball in, so then it was an opportunity for Johnston down that right-hand side. He fires the ball into the 6-yard box. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if Henderson actually gets the final touch on this. It may well be, no, he does. I think he just about gets there ahead of Rui Bal. This ball gets across the box. That's a really good finish as well there from Ewan Henderson. Just gets his toe in there before the Betis right back. And he comes on the field, and seconds after coming on the field, he puts his side 2-1 up. May just have a bit of a VAR delay here just to be sure that he definitely was onside when the goal was scored. Referee Daniel Stefanski is just saying for the time being that we can't restart play. Now we can restart play. So a quick VAR check. There were no offsides, no problems with the goal, and Celtic lead by 2-1. They're only behind for a matter of minutes in this game. Sorry, they're only level, I should say, for only a matter of minutes in this game, with Bain's own goal on 69 minutes, and then Ewan Henderson putting Celtic back in front on 72 minutes. Here is William Carvalho now for Betis, trying to move started down the right-hand side, wins his side a throw. So important now from Betis' point of view to keep the tempo up, keep putting the pressure on Celtic now with less than 20 minutes to go. So it's nice to see 3 goals being scored in this game. We are the leaders in terms of goals scored for games this evening in the 8 o'clock kickoffs. It was an exciting game between Napoli and Leicester in the earlier kickoffs this evening, with Napoli beating Leicester by 3-2. Which in terms of Leicester's situation means that they do drop into 3rd place. But now a break off from that, because the ball is played through towards Iglesias. A chance in now for 2-2, and he tucks it into the back of the net. Betis have equalised for the 2nd time. And we have our 3rd goal in the last 5 minutes in this game. It's now Celtic 2, Betis 2. And once again, it's just Celtic playing too high a line. As this ball is played through, I don't think Iglesias is offside. I don't want to say that for definite, because he's very close to the line. But once he's played in, it's a comfortable finish from Borja Iglesias. Just strokes the ball past Scott Bain right into the bottom corner. It's a very confident finish, but we'll have to wait and see from the replay whether he's definitely onside. Certainly no doubt about how confident he was once he got the ball. But we're going to see. I don't think he's offside. His feet certainly aren't. Whether or not they're going to start messing around with his shoulder and his head to see whether or not he's just about onside or offside, that's a matter for debate. But in the meantime, it looks like there's been a change here for Betis. Just waiting to confirm whether or not the goal's been given. In the meantime, Martin Montoya is on the field here for Aitor Ruibal. That doesn't surprise me. Ruibal was close to getting a second yellow. So now Martin Montoya is on, former Brighton man. The goal check is over. No offside against Borja Iglesias. So it is 2-2 here at Celtic Park. Very entertaining game here from both sides. Both trying to play a high line, both getting caught in possession, meaning that we're getting plenty of chances. And here come Betis now down the left with Tello, just having to check his run. Plays his back towards Cuckoo. Now it's Pizzella over towards Gonzalez down the left-hand side. A bit of space here as well down the left as the cross is played in. It's just away from Carvalho, and then the ball is at the edge of the area. Canales now touching this back towards Tello. Ball on the overlap here now for a chance to get the cross in towards the back post. Another substitution as well, as Moreno has come on for Juan Miranda. That substitution was made just a moment ago as another ball is played across the right-hand side from Montoya. He's straight into the attack here for Betis. But now a loose ball from William Carvalho, and potentially Celtic can go on the counter-attack. Here is Johnston now bringing the ball forward, playing that ball into Abada. Oh, was Abada brought down? The referee points to the spot. 77 minutes gone and Celtic have a penalty. And Liel Abada brought down by a clumsy challenge there from Gonzalez. Gonzalez is saying to the referee that he should check this, but I'm not sure there's anything to check. I don't think Gonzalez gets any of the ball. It's very close. See from this replay here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's any touch from the Betis number 3 there. So this replay, I tell you what, there may be some doubt about this. I do wonder if VAR are just going to ask the referee, Daniel Stefanski, just to wait with this one. Because it looks to me as though potentially there could be scope to say that the Betis man just got a touch on the ball. But the referee doesn't seem to be saying anything about let's wait for VAR. So if they are checking it, obviously feel as though they've seen enough and they don't need to get our main official to have a look at it. Looks like this penalty kick decision for Celtic is going to stand. And yet the referee now instructing Rui Silva what he needs to do in terms of staying on his line. So it is going to be David Turnbull to take this penalty for Celtic. Just making sure that everybody is away from the penalty area. Stefanski still just doing getting a little bit of order at the edge of the box. If there was going to be a VAR check of the goal, of the penalty decision, I think surely by now we would have known about it. So it's going to be a penalty, and it's a very confident penalty from Johnston. Drills that ball into the bottom corner, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Celtic really see Turnbull just watches the goalkeeper, make sure he dives to the left, and then he just strokes that ball into the right. Very confident penalty from David Turnbull. Celtic now lead by 3-2. Looking at this final replay of the actual challenge, I think it's probably fair to say that it was the right decision to give that penalty. It was very close. I do feel for Gonzalez because he did try to get the ball, but in the end doesn't get a touch on it. So another 2 changes here for Betis. They're going to make their 2 final changes now. It looks as though they're going to bring in Willian Jose. Willian Jose, he's one of the players to come on. I'm just trying to confirm. Juanmi is the other one. Again, attacking changes here. Tello is off to be replaced by Juanmi. Just wait to confirm who Willian Jose has come on to replace. But straight away it has an effect as the ball is played to the edge of the area, nodded out for a corner, and Joaquin isn't hanging around. He's getting straight towards the left-hand edge of the field to try and whip this ball in. Jose, it's a season at Wolves, didn't have a particularly fruitful time in the Premier League though, but it's Joaquin's cross into the 6-yard box. As a clash of heads, referee's going to have to stop play here. 2 Celtic players crashing into each other there. And although Celtic have no substitutions left, there are the concussion substitutions that can be brought into play, and it looks like it's Uruhide oh goodness me, Urahide and Biton. Real strong clash of heads there. Both players are likely to be concussed, or at least dazed at this stage. Perhaps concussed is a little bit too strong a word to use straight away. But certainly referee Stefanski taking all of a couple of seconds really to confirm that play needed to be stopped there. Play in just a moment, but thankfully both Celtic players have their eyes open, although I've got to say that Urahide looks very groggy there as he's lying down on the ground. This second half has been played at quite a pace. It really has been a very enjoyable game. These end of group games can sometimes feel like a bit of a dead rubber, but it also means that it's a good opportunity for both sets of players to just play a nice open game of football, which sometimes is quite difficult to do in Europe. That's certainly proven to be the case this evening. The one goal in the first half, we've now had 4 scored in the second. Just getting a VAR replay of that second Betis goal. It was very close, but Borja Iglesias was onside. Absolutely the correct decision. And Urahide just being checked over. This indeed is near Biton. Biton still looking a little bit worse for wear there. Looking on from the bench, there's potentially a goal for Ferencváros, and Ferencváros have just taken the lead against Leverkusen. That would be good for the Hungarian side. They wouldn't want to finish the group stage with no points at all. They are going to be last in the group. Celtic, with their 6 points, knew that they were going to finish third come what may this evening. So that would be good news for Ferencváros to at least get a win right at the end of the group stage. There will be Leverkusen and Betis to go through the first 2 places. Meanwhile, West Ham is still a goal down at home to Dinamo Zagreb. They're also available on our service. And looking at that West Ham team, it's pretty much all changed. Just to run you through the 11, we've still got a few moments here whilst Urahide still being checked over. Tariola in goal for West Ham with Ashby, Baptiste, Alessi and Emmanuel as the back 4. Then it's Noble, Krell and Fornals in midfield with Yarmolenko, Vlasic and Perkins as the attacking 3. So out of those 11 players, maybe 1 or 2 of them would get into the regular Premier League 11. So David Moyes certainly wanting to ring the change. Just to confirm as well, if you hadn't heard, that the Tottenham game against Rennes in the Europa Conference League was postponed, as indeed is Tottenham's game against Brighton at the weekend, because Spurs have had quite an outbreak of COVID-19. Where I think 7 or 8 players, I think they mentioned, plus 3 or 4 members of staff have been tested positive. Say the numbers are going up across the country, so you would expect that there would be maybe not a spike, but certainly a small increase in terms of what's happening across football as well. So this isn't going to be a theme in the coming weeks. Of course, a very busy Christmas period, and some teams might think of it as almost a blessing that they could get a couple of games off, but of course it just means that February, March, April period is going to get even more congested with midweek games to try and make up for everything that's happened. But this is turning into quite a stoppage here. No surprise really, 2 players from the same team down. Urahide and Biton both giving themselves a high 5 there, so they should be okay to play on. Referee just checking to see if the concussion checks have been completed. Looks as though our official is more keen to get play restarted than the Celtic medical staff, who are still deep in conversation there with Urahide. This probably will mean quite a bit of injury time at the end of the game. But certainly from Postecoglou's point of view, this could be a very good win for his side in terms of getting a bit of confidence, extending the confidence that they've had. I mean, it's been a really good run for Celtic, barring that defeat to Leverkusen and that draw to Livingston. Celtic have won every other game since the beginning of October. To say they ended September with that 4-0 humbling at home to Leverkusen. But it's been all wins for Celtic since then, apart from that one draw against Livingston and the defeat away to Leverkusen at the end of November. Celtic still 4 points off Rangers in the Scottish Premier League. But very buoyed by the performance this evening. So thankfully both Bitton and Urahide are back on the field. It says 85 minutes on the clock. We're probably going to get 3 or 4 minutes of injury time in addition to what we would have had just for that last injury. Wait to see how much injury time there'll be. But in the meantime, Sergio Canales wins the ball back for Betis, and he's off down the left-hand side. An attempt there to stop him from Johnston wasn't particularly good, and Celtic need to track back here as the ball is played into the box, headed away by Bitton. It's with Johnston. Up. Let's try to find an option. Ball over the top now down the right-hand side, and here is Urahide. He then leaves the ball for Liel Abada, trying to skip away from Edgar Gonzalez, and he does so, gets the ball into the box, headed up in the air by Martin Montoya, and that one drops comfortably into the arms of the goalkeeper, but that's not a good ball out from Rui Silva. He gets away with it, the ball just about reaches the halfway line, and a chance now for Betis to keep possession here. That's good play from Juanmi. Gets that ball over towards the left-hand side. Switching play back into the middle now. Cuckoo leaving this ball for Sergio Canales. Good ball from Canales. Iglesias with the header across the 6-yard box. Just a little bit too short for Joaquin. Good turn in midfield. They're playing the ball forward towards Celtic's third goal scorer, Henderson, but he couldn't quite control it. Juanmi now brings the ball forward. Willian Jose leaves it for Canales. Canales playing that ball down the channel, a chance to get this ball into the box. It's cut back. Jose trying to turn under a bit of pressure, tees it up for a Cuckoo who smashes that towards goal. But it wasn't a good layoff in the end, I didn't think, from Willian Jose. It was just a little bit away from Paul Cuckoo. And in the end, he was forced to really rush that shot. And the ball going a long way away from goal in the end. Short ball there from Scott Bain. And he flicks it up in the air. That was just encouragement there for red rag to a ball for Willian Jose, who tried to close the goalkeeper down. It's cleared back into midfield. And Celtic looking to try and win the ball back, just to try and keep the ball away from their own penalty area in these last minutes of the game. Here is Callum McGregor now, threads a lovely ball through towards Liel Abada, who breaks into the box. He then plays it square. Oh, lovely, a ball touched on. This could be 4, and Celtic have wrapped it up. It's Johnston with the finish. He puts his arm up. Frustration, though, because the flag has gone up. And we'll have to wait and see from this replay. It was a beautiful ball from McGregor. Ooh, there may be an offside there. As McGregor plays that ball forward into the penalty area goes Liel Abada, and I think he may have just been offside there, Abada, as that ball was played to him. Strike then, a really good strike as well from Johnston to get it right inside the post. But the move was finished, so in any case, the ball can be checked. The goal can be checked, I should say. And unfortunately for Celtic, the check has been completed and the goal has been disallowed. So Celtic still lead in this game, but it's only 3-2. They were hoping it'd be 4-2 as we approach injury time. Side win the ball back on the right-hand side, and here is Turnbull now. Back in towards Urahide. He's been closed down by Willian Jose. Scott Bain steps out of his box and clears that ball down the right-hand side. It's out for a throw. It's going to be a throw to Celtic. Turnbull waiting to take it quickly. Throws it down this right-hand side. And running into that ball is Johnston. Wins his side a corner kick. A chance here now for Celtic to at least keep the ball close to the Betis penalty area. We've got less than 90 seconds of regulation play left here at Celtic Park. Celtic leading against Real Betis by 3-2. Linesman just telling the Celtic players to take this corner kick quickly, which they do. In fairness to them, just a short ball. And Johnston trying to find a way to get this ball into the box. Lays it off for Abada. Abada now playing it back to... Ooh, that's a very strong pass there. Playing it down the right-hand side, there was McCarthy, who I have to say was hobbling around about 25 minutes ago for Celtic, James McCarthy. Looks like he's absolutely fine now, though. Bit of a complaint there. I'm not quite sure what that was. There was a complaint from one of, I think it was Alex Moreno, just complaining to the linesman and then to the referee about something. But it's very hard to see what that was for. And then the Celtic fans really started to lay into the Betis man as well. All pointing the finger and can imagine the sort of things they were saying to him, but it's hard to work out exactly what his complaint was there. It was a throw to Betis at the edge of their own penalty area, level with the edge of their own penalty area, a chance to play the ball out. I'm not quite sure why was complaining as much as he was, but we've run out of time. We're into injury time now at the end of this game. Just waiting for a confirmation of how much there will be. 9 minutes have been added to this second half, which I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised by that. 9 minutes seems very, very excessive, considering that I mean, that head injury, I suppose, accounts for 2 or 3 of those minutes. But, well, I suppose you've got to be careful what you wish for. I did mention in the first half that these days players tend to keep the ball in play for around half an hour of every half. It seems to be the average that's been worked out over the years. And it looks like we're going to get 2/3 of that time back in this second half. So we've still got 8 minutes to play here at Celtic Park. Home side leading against Betis by 3-2, but this does mean, of course, that Betis will still be looking for their chance to try and work an equaliser here. So the ball is over with Cuckoo now, plays it inside to Sergio Canales towards the halfway line for Pizzella. Joaquin now down the right-hand side. He gets to the edge of the area. Joaquin driving into the box, puts a cross in, which deflects off for Liam Scales. And out for a corner kick to Betis. So still plenty of time here now for the visitors to try and get this equaliser. And the ball is now played towards the edge of the area, cleared away towards Cuckoo. He thought about having a shot, in the end just lays it off towards Joaquin down the right-hand side. He leaves it for Sergio Canales, and then Canales floats the ball towards the back post. Good header away by Urahide. The ball volleyed clear down that right-hand side by Turnbull for a throw to Betis down the right-hand side. See frustration here for Betis. They're still trying to get forward as quickly as they can. For the time being, Celtic really have closed up in midfield. Joaquin now trying to pull down the right-hand side, and it's a great ball as well to Iglesias, who crosses it first time. Oh, with just too much of an angle there from Iglesias, and that ball goes out for a goal kick. You certainly can't fault Betis' effort throughout the 90 minutes this evening. Really have been certainly played their part in what's been a very entertaining European tie. Scott Bain now waiting to restart play here for Celtic. Goes up to the halfway line. Montoya nods it forward. Cuckoo trying to play that one even further forward, but it's cleared away by Bitton all the way to the edge of the Betis penalty area. Volleyed away by Rui Silva. Then a bit of a miscued pass there from Liam Scales out for a throw to Betis down the right-hand side. Montoya back to Canales. Canales with a good ball down the left-hand side to pick out Willian Jose. And then Jose tries a ball from the halfway line to pick out Iglesias. Oh, it's just a little bit too far away from him. Bain then dives across and stops that ball from going out of play. But that really was a good ball from Jose. It wasn't too far away at all from picking out his teammate. Bain now with a clearance over the top. Headed up in the air by Martin Montoya. And out for a throw to Celtic down the left-hand side. Some good news for the home side. It just allows them to slow things down. It's all over, by the way, at the London Stadium. West Ham United 0, Dinamo Zagreb 1 is the full-time score. But I'm sure David Moyes won't mind too much in terms of his side. Won the group anyway. Zagreb just confirming their second place with that win this evening. They would have been second anyway, of course, Rapid Vienna. Too much of a bridge to cross there, but at least they've won their last game of the group, finishing in third place. So Rapid Vienna will go into the Europa Conference League. Still no word on when they're planning on replaying this Spurs game with Rem, of course, because it's only just been announced this afternoon. The game would be off, as indeed Spurs' game against Brighton. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the arrangements are going to be for that. Of course, football coming thick and fast over the Christmas and New Year period, whether it's in England or in north of the border, of course, in the Scottish Premier League as well. And speaking of which, Celtic's next game in the league at the weekend will be at home to Motherwell and travel to Ross County. And then they will have a League Cup match against Hibernian. They said farewell to Jack Ross earlier today, period in charge at the club. Back here at Celtic Park, it was Sergio Canales with the strike from the edge of the area, which almost turned out like a good pass to Iglesias, but he couldn't control it. Now Celtic breaking out down the left-hand side. Ewan Henderson running straight into Martin Montoya, though. And Betis now back in possession here with Canales. Just flicks the ball down the left-hand side here for Willian Jose. To pick out a teammate in the box. No options really, so forced to just go back towards Paul Szczerbakowicz. Played out towards the right-hand side for Joaquin. Comes into Liam Scales, who then plays the ball down this left-hand side. Just gets away though from quite keeping in play there. And Abada, who's had a very busy game this evening. I've been impressed with Liel Abada. Had the assist for the first goal. On his side, the penalty as well. Involved a number of other moves for Celtic throughout the 90 minutes. We're at 96 minutes now, so just under 3 minutes of injury time still to play here at Celtic Park. Celtic 3, Real Betis 2. We had this mad period in the second half where goals were coming thick and fast. Celtic led on 3 minutes through Stephen Welsh. I'll come back to summarising the goals in a second, because Betis haven't given up the ghost on equalising here as Joaquin gets down the right-hand side, drills across into the box, which is played away. It's played back to Joaquin, lifts across into the penalty area. Oh, it's off the bar, and it drops to Willian Jose. It's cleared off the line by Bitton and out for a corner. So close, Betis there to making it 3-3 here in the dying minutes. It was Joaquin who fired a ball into the box, crashes off the bar. Great play there from Bitton to head that one over the bar and away for a corner kick. The camera now focusing on that crossbar, which has kept Celtic's lead intact. And in hands time there, I think it was Juanmi that got on the end of that one. Sergio Canales now frustrated that there's no ball to take this corner kick with. No surprise now, all of a sudden we seem to be missing a match ball. But Sergio Canales now has it. All of a sudden, the spare balls arrived as well, so no doubt somebody in the crowd just trying to do their bit to hold the game up here in Celtic's favour. Canales with the outswinger towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it might just get through, and a chance in now for a Celtic to go on the counter. Odahide though runs straight into trouble there. The ball is eventually played down the left-hand side, and Abada plays it through the middle, and suddenly there are 3 Celtic players on 1 goalkeeper. Surely now this must be 4, and they've made a mess of it. They really have made a mess of it, and Michael Johnston head in his hands, and I don't blame him, because this is a great chance after Abada plays the ball through the middle. Good ball from Abada to play in. Johnston, he gets to the edge of the area and then tries to feed that ball into Henderson. And underplays the pass by a couple of yards. It's almost like there were too many Celtic players there. I mean, credit to Edgar Gonzalez, because he managed to get into the picture somehow towards the end, but at one stage there were 3 Celtic players bearing down on goal with the ball, and it was just the goalkeeper in front of them. Really, that should be 4-2 and game, set and match, but we've still got around 40 seconds of injury time to play here, and it's a short corner taken towards the edge of the penalty area. Trying to keep the ball alive down that right-hand side is McCarthy. Frustration there from Alex Moreno when he realised that his side weren't getting the throw on. I think he's probably just overreacting a little bit. The game is pretty much over now. We've had the full 9 minutes, barring maybe a couple of seconds. Celtic are taking a long time over this throw. But the ball goes out, and it's in fact it's an offside decision. Referees allow play to go on. Ball is now volleyed clear by German Pizzella up towards the halfway line, hooked up in the air by near Bitson. This game should be over now. We've had over the 9 minutes. We've had virtually no stoppages during this injury time, so I'm not really sure why Daniel Stefanski is still playing on, but it's a throw on taken down the left-hand side, and then there's going to be a free kick to Betis as well. I must admit, this is one area of football where I do think there still needs to be a little bit more clarity, because this is just random, the time being added on here now. Well, there is no way that this game has had 10 minutes worth of stoppages, but finally the referee does end the game here at Celtic Park, and Celtic will feel as though they've really earned that victory this evening against Real Betis. Welsh gave Celtic the lead on 3 minutes. That was a score at half-time, and then it was 1-1 after Scott Bain own goal after Iglesias' strike hit the post and then hit the Celtic keeper on the back of the head. Henderson then made it 2-1 to Celtic on 72 minutes before Iglesias made it 2-2 on 75. And then that penalty from Turnbull on 78. And the Celtic also had a goal disallowed late on for offside. So Celtic do win the game by 3-2. They knew they were going to be third in the group. Betis knew they were going to win the group, and that's how it's finished here this evening. Thank you very much for your company. From myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz. Do join us again soon.